The New York Rangers needed to see a big step forward in development from Filip, Kappo, Kakko, and Alexis Lafreniere. And so far this year, all three of them, I think, have stepped up their game from last season, but especially Filip and Alexis Lafreniere. I think they've taken a big step forward. I mean, all three of these guys look really, really good, and I think it's just a fact that, you know, you can't give up on young guys like this. All three of them are still very young. I mean, you obviously have Filip, who's still only 24 years old, just turned 24 in September. Lafreniere is 22. He just turned 22 in October. And then you have Kakko, who turns 23 in February. All of these guys are still extremely young. They're not anywhere near their prime yet. I think they still have at least a few years, especially even for Filip, who's the oldest out of the bunch there, out of the three. He still has, you know, probably 2-3 years minimum before he probably hits his prime. So these guys are still very young. They're all on good contracts. Obviously, Kappo is going to need an extension at some point, you know, next offseason. But still, all three of them are looking really good. And they're all playing great this year. And especially Filip, man, this guy has created so many scoring chances. And he has also had a bunch as well. Filip has 6 games played, 6 assists. And if we're being honest here, if you watch the games, Filip could probably have 6 goals as well alongside his 6 assists. He just can't really bury the puck right now. He's had so many great chances. He got robbed on a few occasions, but he has created just so many different scoring chances. He's had 4 out of his 6 assists were primary assists as well, so it's not like he's getting all secondary assists where he's not, you know, doing quite as much as a primary one, which secondary still matter, obviously, but primary, you know, look a little better. So he's got 4 primary out of the 6 total assists so far, so he has looked really good. And the one nice thing is that his face-off percentage has been the best of his entire career so far. This year to start, obviously a very small sample size, only 6 games played. He has a 46.9% on the face-offs. His next highest of his entire career was in 2021 when he had 43.4. And then it goes down to 42.8, and then after that, it's under 40s. Even last year, had a 39.8 face-off win percentage, which is just, it's awful. That is bad. But this year, the face-offs, although a small sample size, 46.9 is not elite by any means, but it definitely is a much bigger step up than what we've seen from him in the past on the draws. So that is a good sign. And hopefully he can continue to get even better on that as well, because if he can be good on faceoffs, man, he has a solid two-way game. He's good offensively. He can create. He can score. For the most part, obviously, this year hasn't quite done the scoring part, but he's had a ton of chances, and he's created a bunch as well. He has looked really good so far to start, and I definitely think that we will see Filip have a monster season here, hopefully. And, you know, just overall, he looked really good. Also had 2 takeaways, 2 giveaways, 3 block shots, you know, 2 hits, only 2 penalty minutes. Not bad at all. He's gotten off to a really good start, and I'm definitely happy to see that. Then you have Alexis Lafreniere, who's had 6 games played, 3 goals, no assists, but he has as well looked really good. And he's the youngest of the bunch here as well, out of the 3. He's still only 22, just turned 22 October 11th. He's still very young, still has a very high ceiling. I know he's been a bust, you know, for being a first overall pick, but he can still be a good top 6 winger in the NHL, being around a point per game guy, I think, and that is definitely a realistic possibility for Lafreniere and for all of these guys here as well. But mainly Lafreniere, we know he was the first overall pick. I know he hasn't lived up to the expectations of the first overall pick status, and especially when he was drafted, you know, potentially being that 100-point kind of guy. I don't know if we're going to see that at this point, but I do think he can have multiple years, or, you know, kind of have a long stretch of his career of being, you know, a 70 to 85, maybe even 90-point guy. That's a possibility. I'm not saying he's going to hit 90 points, but I think at some point in his career, he could have a year or two like that when he does hit 90, especially if he is playing with guys like Zibanejad and Kreider and can take that big step forward in his development. I'm still pretty high on Lafreniere. I don't know if he's ever going to be a 90-point guy, but I think he has it in him still to be at least a point-per-game type player. I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, but at some point in his career, I think he's going to be around a point-per-game guy for a few years. He's still only 22. It's not like he's 24, 25, where at this point it's like, you know, he kind of is what he is almost. Even Chytil, though, at 24, I still think he has a bit more room to grow. But I do think that Lafreniere has looked really good to start this year, and hopefully that success can continue. But taking a look at Kakko here, probably the most disappointing out of the 3. I mean, I still think he's played good. He just hasn't quite taken another step from last year, I don't think. But he's still playing solid. I mean, last year he was still decent, had 40 points in 82 games played. But this year, 1 goal, 1 assist, 6 games played. a small sample size. I think he's going to take another step this year at some point, I'm sure, and, look even better. But right now, 4 takeaways, 2 giveaways, 1 block shot. He's played decent. He hasn't been stellar, hasn't taken a massive step forward like the other guys have, I think, but he still looked good, and he still played pretty solid as well. So hopefully he can take a bigger step moving forward, though, and to really have a breakout year like I think Chytil and Lafreniere are going to. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for daily New York Rangers content. And as always, comment down below your guys' thoughts on, the former kid line here, Lafreniere, Kakko, and Chytil. How do you think they've done so far, and who do you think has been the best out of the bunch? I think I would say Chytil. Chytil has had a crap ton of chances that he's created, playmaking-wise, as well as had scoring-wise as well. Just can't find the back of the net, but I'm sure once he gets one, he'll get a pile on a bunch, because he literally could have at least like 6 goals as well so far this year, because he has just been absolutely phenomenal. Lafreniere's look great, and Kakko has been solid. Thanks for watching, though, and see ya.